And we will be playing as the black pieces. Please don't play d4. e4, Poggy. I play the Caro-Kann. I understand. The Caro-Kann has a very low degree of difficulty attached to the opening, which I think is smart for me. Just 4 more wins in a row to beat Dan. I honestly, you're not going to believe this perhaps, but I think it's completely plausible that we could win 9 bullet games in a row. I think we would not do it immediately, like on the first try. I think it would take a bit, but I totally believe it's possible. So I'm like, here's where I'm at. I know I said it had a low degree of difficulty, but I'm like, what if we play knight to g6? If I were him, I would push. And then I think I hate this exchange for me, but it is kind of hard for him to get that pawn out of there. Maybe he plays like that? I don't know. I feel like I can live with that. Let's see. Interesting. Trying to avoid getting hemmed in here. Because I feel like I wanted to do this next and then push e6 so I can push c5 and have the bishop covering it. So I'm thinking that it probably goes something like this. Then I play e6. He plays h3. I play bishop to h5. He probably plays g4. We could do the exchange if we wanted to. No, we couldn't because the queen would still be covering. We would just fall back then and be like, haha, your king side looks stupid. And then eventually push c6. Okay. Why not? Why not? The other thing we could do, at any point, I suppose... What? This is wild. Okay, so I'm like, at this point, what if we just took the pawn? You can't take with this pawn, so you will take with the knight, presumably. We're going to take here. You're going to take there. We're still going to be under threat at f3. But then we'll just fall back. And if we have to fall back to here and you take, I don't mind the open file. Maybe not great. This is a weird one. Like, what if I do this, and then you take the bishop? It's pretty simple. Then I take your bishop, and then you push your pawn, and then I take this pawn. Your queen's under threat. And if you take, we just, we bail somewhere. It's an interesting one. Just an interesting start. He's only used 30 seconds. I, on the other hand, have used about 400. I prefer the take here. Let's get interesting. Okay, this is expected for sure. Very much simplify the board. Then I'm like, what if we play... What if we play f5 after that? Where's he going? I don't think f5 is actually good for us, but it would be a humorous play. Like, what if we did f5, he fell back, and then we took this pawn. And we were just like, guess what? I'm in your base killing your dudes. I don't think it's good, but it is. You'll get some style points. You know what, dude? I'm out here getting weird. If you want, by the way, I think this is good for him. Now, that being said, I'm not going to take... if he does this, I'm not going to do this. That's too bad. You lose the bishop right away. I think we'll do this, and we could always, if he wants to do that, I would not mind, I think. Oh, but then if I fall back, we lose the pawn. There's like no point to it at all. Oh, man. Or is there? Because we fall back. He takes. And look at this. And then he probably goes to there, actually. I don't know, man. We got to give him the pawn. Let's be honest. We kind of screwed this one up. But On the flip side, it was very fun. Okay, I mean, now we have to, like, do something with this pawn. And it's going to have to be that. Because he's now defending this with the knight. But we'll put some more pressure on that, and then, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Your bishop's trapped now? Dude, I love that, though. Like, if he wants to do this, I'm a happy man. Take. Oh, actually, it's not trapped at all. He does that. We take, he takes, we take. Not trapped. Officially not trapped. If he plays that, we got some issues. We could all... I'm looking forward to the sacrifice, though, honestly. The knight traps? Am I, like, losing my... If the knight traps, we don't care. Because, like, if he wants to trade knight for bishop, like, it's not amazing, necessarily, but it's not that bad. Like, that's a relatively equal exchange of material. All right, you're not gonna understand what I'm doing, but that's okay. In time, you will be ashamed of your words and your deeds. Interesting. I'm a little surprised he didn't just go for it. I'm not worried about the bishop, like, straight up, man. That bishop is worth more to me dead than alive. This position does look pretty bad, though. But I think his knight... Oh, dude. Yeah, I was just going to say, I just completely neglected that. Oh, this is horrible, because now, no matter what I do, he either gets the bishop or he gets the fork. Yeah. The position does not look good. Well, you would definitely rather give him... You're going to hate this, but in my opinion, you give him the fork. Because you would rather lose this rook that's doing nothing to try to generate a devastating attack with this bishop in the mid-game. So as absurd as this may sound, and if he wants to do this check instead, and then maybe do that, that's fine by me. I mean, it's as fine as we can get anyway. I think at this point we're going to recognize our position is way worse. Our material is about to be way worse. Essentially, the only thing we can do is pressure for some kind of attack that's going to get us a win. So he chose to spare our rook, probably in order to trade a knight for 2 bishops, which is a great trade. For him, to be clear. And we don't have a lot of material to begin our attack with. I mean, we're like pretty heavy. I think I'm just gonna resign. Like, I think we don't have enough material to mount a sufficient attack, and our position is pretty much destroyed. This is like a full resignation. That's a good game. I don't believe the computer when it says 0 blunders here. I think he played really very well there. It loves us right here. We had 18% accuracy, but only 0 blunders? Like, what the heck? Okay, so this is fine. It's normal. No, they don't like this part. Like, no, they still like it. They hate that. Okay, so that was a move where they're like, you should not have done that. That makes sense. I mean, to be fair, we did go extremely weird. That was kind of the point. As I said, we shouldn't do this, but wouldn't it be funny if we did? And then, like, I was really hoping that they were just going to do this exchange right here, which probably still gives them... No, yeah, it gives them a pawn advantage, mostly because, like, I think our diagonal sucks here, and this pawn is, like, not long for this world, but yeah. That's a fair one. You know, that was like your classic like sowing versus reaping game, where I said, while I was sowing, I said, haha, yes, this is awesome. And then while I was reaping, I said, what the heck? If it isn't the consequences of my own actions. This doesn't happen very often. We actually got the chance to play the Trumpowski attack that Levy taught us 2 lessons ago. The way we want this to go was not that. We wanted this. So now I'm like, I don't know what you do now. I feel like you do e4. He's not going to take, obviously. He'll do like e4, h6, take. I don't know. We might actually just fall back. And then at that point, but then we would lose that. Then we could take with the f pawn, though. Like, walk me through this one, okay? Done. Yata. Yum. 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 He's going to take us there, and we'll take with the f pawn. He'll be a pawn up. We'll have an open file. We can play. I don't know. I feel like I got too far. I feel like I got too far. I feel like the first thing you play is knight to c3 to defend against the e4 push instead. Yeah. And then you force him to evacuate his king side if he wants to. This is better. And we didn't take 2 minutes to puzzle it out. I'm like, I think this is fine still. It's an early castle if he castles here. We definitely do not want to trade bishop for knight in this situation, at least not yet. No, so in the Trumpowski, we do want to trade knight for bishop, but we only want to trade knight for bishop if he's forced to take with a pawn. At least that's the rule that Levy taught me. If he doesn't play e6 and instead he plays like this on move 3, or move 2, I guess, then we take and he chooses whether to open e or g. I believe. It's my understanding. Okay, so he's going to try to push down the center with d5 at some point. I think that's honestly, like, I'm not trying to hate because I've made some bad moves myself in my day. I think that's a really bad move, though, because it just screws up this and this. But how are we going to capitalize? It's a great question. I don't mind the idea of pushing this. And then, like, if he goes here, you screw up his pawn structure. But I definitely feel like, because he's going to be hemmed in completely on this side, he's going to do this anyway. So why don't we wait for him to do this? Then we'll just push up and we can reinforce this square instead. Maybe capture here and try to mount an attack on this side while all his pieces are locked in. That's my Levy brain speaking. That's my Levy brain. I did think, like, a knight to f3, you get the knight out there, but, like, I don't think it does as much for us as this bishop here, because now, this is pretty much the way I drew this up. Now, you know, we've locked down the center. We definitely don't want to give him this. I think you take the trade there. But I really like the way our setup looks, and, like, look at how crappy his pieces have become. It's garbage, man. And then I start to think about the idea of, like, what if we try to push, like I want to do knight to f3, castle, and then start pushing f. Maybe instead of knight to f3, I feel like you could do this, or you could do this. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a little galaxy brain for myself here. I do worry that this is coming. Do we care? Not if we do this. Not as much. I mean, yeah, okay, I mean, we knew that. As mentioned was coming. I feel like you kind of... I feel like you pin the knight. Pin the knight. So if you take, they just develop it, or they develop the queen, or they probably develop the queen, and then this is hanging. So I think you pin the knight, They probably take. You take. I don't think that's a big problem, and they're still kind of hemmed in. I mean, they probably play this. You might trade your bishop to screw up their... the pawn structure won't be that screwed up, though. You know what? Instead of this, we have a problem. The problem is this bishop. Because, like, this is great. Well, this is great. But if they move forward, we're pinned. So let me walk it through. This. Check. Take. We lose a bishop. This knight is not long for the world. We will lose that knight at some point in the future. So we shouldn't have done knight to e2 was the long and short of it. We should have done knight to f3, which would have allowed us to then pressure with knight to b5, unfortunately. Suppose you could do check, and then if he goes here, you're like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know, like is not so bad. I think we gotta pin the knight at this point. If we hadn't played knight here to block, we wouldn't have had to do that though. Okay, I think, and the other thing is you have to trade, unfortunately. Because if you don't trade here, you just get... he got himself out of this position really nicely. If you don't trade, your bishop's trapped again. Unless you want to do like a queenside attack. Okay. So this pawn is not long for this world, so we're going to be forced to push f4 anyway if we want to protect the e-pawn, which I do. He has the bishop pair. I mean, I would say that, you know, black probably has a little bit of an advantage right now, even though his bishop's doing nothing. We'd love to get our knight here. Kind of a tricky sell, though. But we got attacks here. Castling is a little... we probably queenside castle and do a kingside pawn storm. Like, what would I do if I were him? That doesn't really bother me, I think. I could be proven wrong pretty easily. I think he wants to do bishop there. So we do this first, which puts pressure on this pawn. He will probably respond by kingside castling. That gives us a move. We queenside castle and then start pushing these pawns in the future, I think. Sorry, yeah, he does not have the bishop pair, but he has a bishop versus my two knights. What we hope our opponent does is this, and then that, which has, like, literally, it would be the worst series of moves of all time. There's no impetus for them at all. But imagine, like, if he did this, and then that. Oh, my God, it's beautiful. There's no reason for him to do it. But on the other hand, it would be very helpful for me. Okay. Interesting. Probably not going to sack our queen to make that happen. So I think next we're pretty much forced to castle queenside. And we got some decent ability to defend here. Obviously, he doesn't care about pushing these pawns up. Like, they don't mean anything to him. So he can kind of do a serious attack that way. It's like it doesn't burn me up that much, man. It doesn't burn me up that much. Of course, you could do this, then you got an open file. I think I would rather keep my queen. Start to get into that kind of mindset. And I'll tell you, right out of the gate, something appeals to me. I think Levy would be proud here. You knew that was coming. But I think you can start to bust things wide open if you can just get rid of that pawn. But actually, I think our first moves here have to be this. I hope. Sacking the knight. I would love to sack the knight, as mentioned. My only problem with it is that this is no longer where the king is, you know? After the castle, it's like not so good, I think. So obvious, I see the problem here. take. I cannot take. So, what does one do? What if we did this? He takes. No problem. Then we do nothing. This whole lesson here is basically about me accidentally not having my knight in the right spot. Like, imagine if our knight was at f3 right now. Take. We got this open to us. It's beautiful. Instead, our knight is at d4 doing nothing at all. So I kind of think we're forced to take, but it does work to our opponent's advantage. I'm willing to admit. I think you take on f6. We can't let him take. It's too strong. So you expect this. Knight is fine. They're probably, I mean, you'd imagine they would push this next. But I think if they push this next, we literally just do that. Like, our knight is protected by the rook, in case that's not abundantly clear. So I'm just, without a whole lot of time left, you gotta think to yourself, like, how are we getting ourselves out of this bucket of syrup? I think the knight sack is really bad. You're like, check, Poggy, I get the knight. Then he does this, and you're like, okay, and then you take, and then he takes with the bishop, and you're like, I don't know where to go now. So I think we try to keep pushing him down here. If he does that, I think we take to threaten, and then we do have like the option of a check if he royally screws up. But again, we're kind of getting light on time. If he wants to take f4, like, we probably should have stopped him. Because this is a check. Yeah, in hindsight, I think g3 is actually a lot better than g4. But I'm like, oh, maybe he'll just be like, juicy. Probably not, though. Is there a point... We just don't have a choice on that one, really. Is there a point where you would consider playing longer than 10-minute games? No, I think that's... and it's a totally fine question. There's nothing wrong with the question. But I think you do reach a point at that level where you're not like... I don't know. Basically, the question might as well be, is there ever a point where you would take chess more seriously on stream? Probably not, no. I think it's more like... I value kind of like the entertainment component more than like ever. Like, I don't see myself as becoming like one of those guys that's like, today we're going to go for like our IM game. Or like we're going to try to get an IM norm in like some kind of tournament. So I don't think that plays to my strengths. And moreover, I think that the second you switch from like, well, this is more like my personal experience, I guess. But the second I switch from like, we're going to have fun with the game and whatever happens, happens, to like, oh, I'm going to go like try hard. The entertainment value and like my own mood just plummets, basically. So I would say that historically, it does not tend to be a good decision for me. Oh, dude, I didn't even... But also, you didn't even. I tried laddering in Pokemon. Setting your sights on the top sucks. Yeah, dude, I hear you. That's like... It's the same thing... Like, it happens to me in a lot of games, right? Like, as soon as you go from, like, I'm having fun being, like, kind of there. Like, being okay, but not amazing. And you're like, now I'm gonna get good. That's when, like, it all falls apart. That's when we gotta protect the center in a huge way here, but that's when you stop having as much fun with the game as you used to, I think. So he's gonna push that next. I gotta think about like where we're going here. We can't move our rook yet, so you gotta like move this first, and then if he does this, you can at least do that. But actually, now that I think about it, he can't really just capture the knight because then he would lose the rook. So Big whoop. Dude, I have to pee so bad. I gotta pee so bad, dude. I only got a minute and a half left to figure out where we're going here too, but I gotta pee so bad. There's no time. There's absolutely no time to run to the bathroom. I will lose on time with 100% authority. Okay. We take with the rook. We take with the rook. So I really gotta. You're trying to pin me? Is that your game plan here? You're gonna try to pin me? Yeah, I remember. That's a good move. Last time I saw that move, I laughed so hard I fell off my dinosaur. I really gotta go real bad though. Great move, honestly. Great move. You gotta respect that move. I don't know what this move is meant to accomplish, but that's okay. We don't want to lose on time. Can we just pause it? Can we, tournament organizer, can we pause the clock? I really got to go to the bathroom. Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. What if you do this? Then I do that. And we're safe. Ish. We're up by 2. Just a real quick, maybe we could just do a draw offer. What do you think about that draw offer, dude? What if I traded my knight for 2 pawns? Screw it, dude. We got a minute left. Send it. Get his pawns cleared out. This is a danger for sure. Bro, my kidneys! I don't know, where are you from? Indonesia? Poland? Okay, you know, there's a difference. I can't do rook here check. That sucks. But it's just it's a spicy situation. You know what I mean? It's a spicy situation here. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go here? I'll put you in check again, dude. I'll put you in check again for my kidneys. For my kidneys' sake. This is a little thirsty at the same time, though. Also a little thirsty is the problem. What are you doing? I thought I was gonna be in trouble there. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, dude? Okay, we'll give you a little one of those and a little one of these. Okay. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. You know what? We're gonna give you one of those now. And we're gonna take that. And then we're gonna do this. Gonna put you in check. We don't have a ton of time, to be clear. We don't have a ton of time here. However, this should be a 1 endgame. I don't exactly know the means. That's definitely how it starts, though. Gotta move pretty quick here. Gotta endeavor as much as possible. Keep yourself on the dark spaces. This should be a 30-second win. Honestly, like, this is doable. You may not believe it, but it's honestly true. I would love if you take the gamble. He doesn't know how to do this, right? He probably doesn't know how to do this. Oh, I thought I could get forked there or skewered. That would have been so bad. Let's go, dude. He doesn't believe. He doesn't believe. He didn't believe in me. That's not how you do ladder, mate. He was right. He was right not to believe. Okay. Now we're talking. He was right not to believe. Where you going? That's what you get. You know what? That's what you freaking get. You don't believe that I'm going to be able to get the ladder made in 12 seconds? You know how many times I've done that as like a 9-year-old kid? I said good day, sir. I said good day. Now I got to do analysis. I apologize, YouTube, but I also got to pee really bad. See you in just a moment. I apologize, YouTube. It had to be done. It had to be done. Bladder, mate. Okay, okay. Whew. Let's see how this... Oh, dude, we were never really down by much. And then when we got to the end game, it was over. It was over. Oh. Dude. I love that he gave me the chance to play the Trumpowski attack. I'm begging for somebody to give me the chance to play the Raptor. But anyway, this is fine. That's a book move. Great stuff. They actually, you know what? They love E4. Let's explore this opening a little bit. So here's what I was worried about with E4 was like they play H6, which is not considered book. What's considered best here? C5. Valid. Honestly, valid. But then wouldn't we just play E5? Which would, like, what's this? What's he going to do now? I'm assuming, I don't know, maybe you check first to get the queen out of the pin? No, you just play H6? Okay. This would be a much weirder opening. So if they play H6... I think you probably just take first. No, you move it. Okay. I mean, this is not the way I would have played it. They like E takes F6? No, not at all. Wow, that's wild. This is one you just gotta like learn, man. That's crazy. Like this isn't. Now you go C1 is your best move? Like that's asinine. Like, can you imagine if you walked up to a board, it's move 5, and the board looked like this? You would be like, what? Okay, and then they would move their knight. Probably to D5. What is happening, man? All right. Anyway, yeah, that's how it could have gone. Instead, we played knight to c3, which is fine. And then they responded with a very apt move, and we said, okay. And then they said, let's do that. And I said, now I can do e4, my master plan. Then this move, this is where I'm very proud of myself. This is where I went, this move sucks. And the computer agrees, because their knight can't go to the two spaces that are like best for it, and their bishop is now like completely locked in. But you knew they were going to move to d5. They do not like this move from me. Wonder why. Because then I was like, well, we'll take. And then they have to respond, right? But I guess they don't have to respond. Like, they could just escalate. And then if I take... Yeah, because they're like, you shouldn't. Oh, they want me to escalate too. Oh my God. They want me to go like that. And then, were I then... I don't know, you just keep escalating, right? Like, maybe, do you just... You have to get your queen. Oh, you have to do that. Okay. No, they like the king. They like the bong cloud capture. That's crazy, man. And then we take this. And I'll admit, you know, I think it's fair that black has an advantage. Their position looks absurd, but our pawns are terrible over here. And then, like, they don't look so bad maybe after, like, a push to d5. Something like that. I don't know. King to f8 is a joke. Like, I don't think you would ever see that in a game before you did something like this and then that. But anyway. Oh, because then we would take the pawn. That explains it. Okay. No, that makes sense. Anyway, that's, like, absurd. We would not do that, obviously. We played that. They went, oh, no, no, no. And then I went, yeah, yeah, yeah. They fell back. We said, you got to trade, which is fine. They like our position. This move sucks. We should not have done this move. This move caused us so many problems. This move, I thought they blew us out. No, they still like knight to b5, which is crazy because I thought, what if they just do that after that? I guess they like this line. You probably go here for safety. No? Okay. Shows what I know about this situation. and then you do this. But like, I don't know. I don't believe in this just because like I don't see us getting this knight out here alive, you know? And then what do we do with our bishop on this point? Like, let's see what we take their rook, they take our bishop. No, they play b6 to protect to stop the knight. Okay. No, okay, here's yeah, okay. They play b6 so they can play that next move. We have no way to get the bishop out there unless we spend a move. But as soon as we spend a move, they're like, we'll just take it. So for example, if we play like knight to g3, then they would take. Okay, understandable. But again, instead we pin the knight. This is an interesting game for sure. And then we decide you have to take. Black has a bit of an advantage. They loved f4. Let's go. That was a big move for me. They thought that would, you know, escalate a little bit, do some danger. Castle kingside, we got our advantage back. Okay, I hate to do this. It's not. This isn't me being petty. But people are going, it's a knight for a rook, though. Like, why wouldn't you do it? Because it's not a knight for a rook. Okay? It's... This. Oh, they actually don't like this move. But anyway. Check. We got a free rook. Now we've got rook for bishop. And then our knight is trapped. So they're going to get the knight eventually. It's pretty close to an even material trade. We might have like a couple extra pawns out of it at the end. Move the bishop. Okay. No, not there. Not there either. You get taken. Oh, you couldn't move it there because you'd like get taken, dude. And then like if you move it here, like you're going to get taken. So like you could, you know, do this. But as soon as you do that, they're going to do this. That's a bit of a forehead moment. But you know what? It's probably instructive as well. If we can move it here, that'd be Pog City though. Taking the pawn, I think, is probably fine as well. But I don't know. We didn't get as weird with it as we could have. But the game got weirder later. I'm still proud of this one. Yeah, they're like, what? They really like our position. They think that's fine. They think that's okay. They thought the take was great as well. Here, I'm going to tell you, I bet they love this. They are like, that is horrible. And I guess it's like a statistical draw. Let's walk it back. What did they like? No, they liked the rook to f1. Okay. Interesting. Still, you'd understand it. It's something to reinforce this. I just thought this also reinforced the knight as well as the pawn. But I guess maybe it gives them this space to start pushing. So, sure, rook is probably best. We have to take. They love that move. Statistical draw. Okay. They're like, what are you doing? Then, what do we do from here? Threaten the rook? Not good. Not good. Missed win. Is this better? No, because they take this. No, that is best. Oh, because then if they take, you do this, which we ended up doing anyway. Okay. And that's where the game... I mean, from there, it's almost over. Like, we have a small advantage, but because it's the end game, it's like a big advantage. They hate that, but it tastes awful, but it works. Like Buckley's. Anyway, that game's over from there. That was a fun one. There was a lot of action in that game. I'm going to pivot to